Well, I'm going to admit defeat in the whole bourbon challenge thing here, but are you going to have XJ at Wheels in the Woods?
I've been strongly debating on that. With a lot of the stuff been going on with work the last couple of weeks here, there's no way it's going to be driving there, but I'm debating about trailering it there or not.
Well, then it'll be a draw on the challenge.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of figured that a while ago, though.
But that's all right.
Yeah.
But bringing it would be fine.
I'm going to try. I've got to see if I could borrow Ed's trailer for the day. I'm pretty sure my truck can tow all that. So I got to get someone to drive that and bring Pegasus down. Get it all done in one go.
You might not be the only person trailering. We did have somebody contact us at the museum page. Wanted to know if they could bring their in-progress build of what looks like a pretty badass Jeep Comanche.
Ooh.
And I said, yeah. I said, just put it on the trailer, whatever you need to do. So, you might not be the only one that's not running.
Yeah, it's basically, I mean, there's a lot of latches and stuff not done. If I get the doors back on, I'm going to just have to strap some stuff down. I'm straight up going to back the trailer up to the garage, push it on the trailer, and drive it there. The only downside, I have a ton of stuff on the roof that I've been storing.
So maybe do it, maybe not, but we'll see.
Yeah, I got to really look and see if, as long as I can shove all that off to the side for now, maybe actually sort through it, put it away properly, and then maybe try and at least get that down, maybe throw those 33s on for effect. I'm thinking about it just because I think I owe it to a lot of our listeners. We've been talking about it a lot to see, one, that it is real. It's not just, random pictures.
Yeah.
And two, kind of maybe that little bit of drive to get it out there. And three, maybe the wind will blow some of the dust and stuff off so I don't have to deal with it.
Hey, man, I'm looking forward to it. Wheels in the Woods 2021 is in 2 weeks here, so.
Yeah, I'm bummed it won't be driving there. But like I said, just the way some things have been going the last couple of weeks, it's not been possible. I had talked to my boss about a couple extra days off just to try and mad dash to the finish. And he gave me one of the weeks I needed, not the second week. So at this point, there's no way. So.
Well, speaking of projects, I've got some project stuff to talk about today. And what do you think, John?
Let's do it.
It's time to hit the trail. Lock in those hubs and throw it into low range. Because you are listening to Wheelin' with Keith and Johnny Orange. They're here to talk about 4x4s and everything to do with enjoying the great outdoors. Here's your hosts, Keith and Johnny Orange.
All right, John, once again, we have a sponsor for this episode, and I'm going to mention them real quick, but then we need to talk about this because I think that we've got something pretty interesting in front of us.
We got new beer coming?
No beer for this episode, no beer, but something just as good, I think, and our sponsor for this episode is Texan Auto Seat Cover, and that's TexanAutoSeatCover.com. for you folks that would be interested in seeing their products. We're going to talk a little bit more about that here for a second. I'm going to tell you why we're talking about them and why they're a sponsor. You got to see, they have shipped us out very generously a seat bottom replacement for the project, yet to be unnamed project, the King Ranch interior going in the 08 Ford.
Trying to remember, I thought I had a really cool name for that one. I don't remember what it was.
We're still coming up with a name. We'll find one out, but to catch our listeners up that maybe forgot about it because it's been a few episodes since we've talked about it, we are building an 08 F350 crew cab. Going to be Cummins diesel powered, a few other cool tricks that we're doing with it. But one of the things we're doing is we're taking the XL interior out and we're replacing it with a used 2007 Ford King Ranch interior. Now, there's a couple reasons that we're doing the 2007 versus going to an 08 to 10. Now, number one is we didn't find an 08 to 10 interior. But with that being said, there's some benefits going to the 03 to 07 King Ranch interior. One, the 03 to 07 was the real saddle leather seats, which I am a big fan of. 08 newer.
I love the look. I love the smell of them. As weird as that sounds, nothing beats the smell of good quality leather.
08 to 10 went to a leather synthetic, and I don't know exactly what the blend is.
Wrong.
On the King Ranches, or 08 on up. But the 07 and down, and then the second reason going with that, the 08 and up King Ranch seats, and actually all Ford seats in the Super Duties, when you had the heated seat option, the buttons for the heated seats were then integral to the dashboard. Now, since the XL that we're building does not have the King Ranch dashboard, it does not have the King Ranch wiring harness, and that was one of the things, is they had this big wiring harness that was kind of integral to the dashboard, went up under the floor mats. The 07 and older King Ranch interior used the heated seat button right on the side of the seat, and all we have to do is send power, so hot and negative to it, and we should have the heated seats working. So it's a kind of just a standalone modular design, which is nice. But as our listeners for a while know, we picked up this 07 interior, and it's in otherwise pretty darn good shape, with exception of the armrest covers and the seat cover on the, or not the seat
center
cover.
console needs a pretty good wash too.
Well, that needs a cleaning, but it's in good shape.
Yeah, it's in fantastic
I'm
shape.
sorry, the seat bottom on the driver's seat, which is real common, because that's where it gets used the most on vehicles, seat bottom, driver's side. Did a bunch of research going around looking at who had a way of either fixing this seat bottom or replacing the seat bottom, and I found out that
duct tape's not acceptable.
Well, there's duct tape currently on Project Excursion's seat, but
a little more classy upgrade.
Yeah, we're going a little more classy with this thing, and looking at the seat bottom options, the factory Ford King Ranch seat bottoms were about $450, and they've since been discontinued. Now, there might be a dealership around there where there's one floating in still in the system somewhere, but it does not look like it. There's a number of people on some forums in the last year or two that have said they've not been able to get one tracked down. So
I remember issues like that when I worked at the dealership. So it was predominantly Ford, a lot of Ford parts, and a lot of the stuff we worked on was just older vehicles. Couldn't get parts, stuff back ordered. It's like, this dealer has it, but they won't ship it. So you got to weigh the cost of going to get it or talking them into paying to ship it. And, certain things like an Excursion flywheel, for example, factory Ford ones, at least at that time, were not easy to find. And there was more than one occasion the cost of factory versus aftermarket. Customers like, no, go aftermarket.
Yeah, exactly.
And that may have changed since, but I don't know.
So
I've been out of that game a while.
I had started doing a bunch of research and going around the web and looking at who, makes a replacement seat bottom for this. So when I say, it's kind of a misnomer here saying Texan auto seat cover. We're not putting seat covers on this. We're actually recovering the seat.
Yeah.
We're replacing the seat bottom.
Actual what goes over the foam and all the metal supports underneath it.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so they sent us out, like I said, a seat bottom and some armrests. And John, I'm going to hand this over to you, and I want you to take a look and tell me what you think of the quality of this product. We have not installed it yet. We're going to probably do a YouTube video or something here, but we'll definitely post some pictures on 4x4 Talk and stuff as we go along. But
first and foremost. Oh, yeah.
Doesn't that smell good?
Yeah. Wow.
So that looks like a brand new King Ranch seat bottom.
That looks factory.
Now, what I'm really impressed,
that's beefy. I like
but
that.
look at the sides of it here. We've got the original style clips.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the aftermarket stuff I've noticed, you have to use hog rings and you have to try to stitch it and do stuff.
It's really thick leather too.
It is,
like you said, saddle leather. But
they took and they made all the factory clips, so you don't have to do any stitching or anything. You literally just peel the original leather off of the bottom and off of your seat.
The proverbial plug and play.
And this should, exactly. It should just go plug and play right back onto the seat. I am super, super excited to get this thing on.
Now, you said these were heated seats, right?
Yeah, these are
Is
heated seats.
that just a pad that sits behind it on these?
I don't know. We're going to find out when we pull it open. And we're going to see.
I know most of the Ford ones we dealt with at the dealership at least were. So it was just like a replaceable heating pad, so to speak, that's wired in. So nice and simple.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
And as you know, we just took this seat. We're looking at both the seats right now, the new seat cover and the seat. And the pattern, the way the stitching is done, is all identical to the way that Ford did it in 2007. The only difference is this is a lighter color because my seats are
Dirty.
worn and dirty.
Yeah.
But I do have a trick up my sleeve where I think I'm going to be able to kind of color match this a little bit. You know,
Sharpie.
there's no way that they would be able to give me a worn seat. And I wouldn't want them sending me a worn seat cover,
Yeah.
you know. So we're going to see after we clean these up if...
So you're going to use a Sharpie to do the detail matching?
No, I got some tricks up my sleeve, and we'll put them on some YouTube videos or something like that probably when we do this. But, you know, I was blown away by the quality of this part when it came to us here.
Sure.
And then, of course, they sent the armrest cover, too, which same thing. The stitching looks identical to the factory Ford. Beautiful, beautiful product here.
Oh, that's fantastic. Like I said, the smell is... Like I said, I love leather, though. Oh, man, that smells good.
Now, I did go to their website to check out. And like I said, I'd researched a couple different ones, but this was the one that had the best reviews and everything.
Yeah.
And they actually are a brick and mortar business in Dallas, Texas.
Cool.
So, you know, that's something nice. This is not just some Amazon, you know, buy or something like that. And I'm looking at their website here, and it looks like they have replacement leather and vinyl seat covers for Chevrolet, Cadillac, Ford, GMC, Hummer, and Lincoln vehicles.
Nothing for Jeeps?
I don't see I don't see anything about Jeeps. And just perusing on their website, I have found that they support at least as far back as 1995 on many vehicles.
Oh, nice.
So if you've got a leather seat that's cracked beyond repair, torn beyond repair, worn out beyond repair, you don't have to buy. That's something else that's nice. 'Cause I did see when I looked at my options, there was places online where, like for example, CatSkin or whatever. CatSkin only sells the entire row, so you could get driver and passenger seat together.
Imagine it's pretty expensive. It takes a lot of cats to get that much.
Very
leather.
expensive, yes. Or the entire back seat.
We're kidding. I don't think they're actually made of cats.
It's KATSK.
Okay.
But anyways, Texan auto seat cover here really impressed me with the fact that you could do a modular. So you could order the pieces that you needed. I only needed the seat bottom, and I only needed the armrest.
I've been noticing that looking at some other just hole-in-the-wall upgrades for stuff for the XJ. I'm only finding stuff in sets of 4.
And it's like, annoying, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't need this. I don't want half of this stuff.
Exactly.
But it's only sold that way. So it's like, well, I guess I'm either not getting it or spending twice the amount of money I want to for half of what I need.
So if your seat backs are in good shape, whatever, you know, this is a neat way to go, man. Yeah. I'm pretty darn impressed. I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes.
I am too, and you're gonna have to tell me more about that leather color matching thing or dye, because I just realized we're both putting leather interiors in our project vehicles.
Yes.
And the one I've got, it's like a dull gray, kind of beige almost. I think it's closer to dull gray. I haven't looked at them in a while. But yeah, I'm going to have to start getting the seats, at least the driver's seat, up and start fitment on that pretty soon here.
Well, I've reached out to a couple different companies regarding that, and I've kind of narrowed it down to one that I think their product is going to work best. So I haven't ordered it yet, maybe this week or next week. But like I said, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
And
well, let me know. I'd love to make these a darker color. I'm never a fan of bright colors. It just, I tend to be pretty dirty and greasy a lot.
Yeah.
So I like colors that hide a lot of that.
Well, you could dye them to a black or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
You know, and that's something we haven't talked about in Wheeling too much over the years, years. Yeah, it is years now.
Yeah.
We've talked about all sorts of bodywork stuff. We've talked about axles, suspensions, engines, stuff like that. But we really haven't talked too much about interiors and how to rehash interiors and bring them back or to do a custom
I know
interior.
very little about, aside from, you know, again, just researching the seat swaps or direct bolt-in seat swap kind of stuff. I don't know a whole lot about any of it, to be perfectly honest.
Well, obviously, a lot of times on our off-road rigs, we don't really care what the interior looks like. It's still full of mud and things like that. But on our daily drivers, or maybe a rig that we're putting a little more pride in, something that only sees minor trail usage and it's going to go different things, that's when you start to look at, you know, who offers either restoration parts for your interior that you're doing on your vehicle, or who offers upgraded. You know, not everybody can afford to go out there and buy Recaro seats and I've never been a fan of seat covers because you're covering up.
I don't say covering up a problem, but you're covering over what you want to change rather than changing it, if that makes sense.
I'm the same way. Seat covers tend to like slide around.
That too.
And they never fit right.
No.
They never seem to
They're
fit
all the ways
right.
the universe. I've seen some nice ones for the Jeeps, in all fairness.
Yeah.
A couple companies make some nice neoprene covers for them that are fitted really, like and the Wranglers in particular, I mean. But overall, what is there? What options? And you said a restoration or something like that is awesome when you have some good factory quality seats like that.
Well, so continuing on this interior theme here and talking about different things, one of the things that I have found interesting over the years is the argument that people have put between, what are you going to do for your floor material?
Oh, yeah.
And, a lot of guys in Jeeps, in FJ40 Land Cruisers, Samurais, they will pull out whatever the interior carpet or vinyl is, and they'll just rhino line the interior of the vehicle, or they'll
That's
Raptor
basically
liner.
my plan, yeah.
And that's
But I'm still putting rubber mats back in.
Yeah.
Because of the noise. I don't like loud noise, and I want it, tolerable and at least kind of quiet. So that is my plan for mine. Like I said, I'm going to probably Herculine it, and then just have the rubber mats and different floor mats in there to help with the acoustics. And then I'm actually putting a thicker pile, like carpet, on the headliner.
Okay.
Rather than the factory felt, for the same reason, absorb some more of that sound.
You're not going to go with like a Dynamat or something?
Probably not on the flooring or anything.
On
At least
the roof. You said
The
carpet
roof?
on the roof.
On the headliner. So I have the headliner backing. I'm going to basically adhere carpet to it.
Oh, okay.
Think
That's an interesting way of doing it.
Yeah, think like a automotive carpet or like a marine carpet. Something it's thin, but it's thicker than a factory felt headliner.
Okay.
So acoustics wise, it's going to absorb a lot more noise. I guess Dynamat would be very similar. Though.
Yeah, well, Dynamat's like it glues on.
Yeah,
it's a peel and stick. But there's people that have taken duct, like commercial duct wrap, and use the same stuff. You get it from like Lowe's or Home Depot, and it's kind of like Dynamat, but it's just cheaper, and it's probably not as high of a sound value as Dynamat itself, but it's another option for you.
I'll have to look into that. I just wonder if that would offer me any benefit over what I'm already doing.
Maybe to each his own.
Yeah.
But back to that flooring thing. One thing that I had never really thought about, but when I read a thread about a while ago on a forum, I don't remember which forum it was, but somebody was talking about replacing their factory vinyl floor in this vehicle that they were doing. And a number of people said, don't do it. Go to either Herculine, Rhino-Line, or carpet. And I was thinking, well, why carpet? Because carpet gets the mud and the grease and this and that.
Yeah.
Carpet breathes.
Yeah.
In an open top vehicle, especially, even in a closed vehicle, if it sees a lot of mud, a lot of muddy boots and water and things like that. I've had several vehicles over the year that had a vinyl floor, and they said the moisture gets underneath them, and
it just sits there.
It sits and rots, and that's right. My old Blazer that was a vinyl floor did that. One of my old Ford trucks that was a vinyl floor did that. The worst floorboard problems I've ever had have been under vinyl floors. Sure, they're really nice in say a work truck that you maybe don't get a lot of water on the inside of it.
Up here in Michigan, winter, that's just not possible.
So I am even on this. I was going to go vinyl floor on the F350. It actually has a vinyl floor in it that's in good shape right now.
Nice.
But I still have the King Ranch carpet that I got when I got the King Ranch interior, which is just the regular carpet. That's all it is, Ford carpet. Or maybe buy new carpet. I'm still debating on that one.
Like I said, I'm pretty confident in what I want to do. Just in the XJs, at least, the drain and breathability issues with carpet. They used like a deadener. I would say it was kind of like a Dynamat that they stuck like to the back of the carpet that sat on the metal.
Yeah.
And that held so much water in there. That's what rusted out my floors.
Yeah, and that's not a good thing.
And that's long since gone. And I don't think I sold. I'm pretty sure I threw that out. But that's long gone. And I don't like body tape. But I know Herculiner will seal up some of those overlapping joints and stuff too. Some that'll kind of flow in there and seal it up nice. And it's easy to clean up.
I do want to do a quick shout out here regarding carpet. Now, this is not a sponsor per se.
To Hagopian?
No.
Oh, but they're the carpet people.
Well, they are real carpet people.
Like
Back in 2000, I did the Hot Rod Magazine Power Tour. And then I did it again in 2001. Actually, I think those would be interesting episodes to talk about someday. They're not off-road episodes, but they're car guy episodes. We could maybe do something like that. Yeah. But on the 2000 Power Tour, one of the sponsors was Auto Custom Carpets, ACC.
Okay.
And they actually make carpet for brand new vehicles and for antique vehicles.
Nice.
The owner, and I'm very sorry, his name is escaping me right now.
Only been 21 years. I just think he'd be all right.
Well, I'll tell you there's a reason behind it, but and I actually have it written down somewhere, but he came up to me, and it might even be on the tip of my tongue by the time I tell this story. He came up to me when I was on the 2000 Hot Rod Magazine Power Tour, and that's when I wrecked that Ranger and I drove it.
Yeah.
You know the story, but the folks don't, and we'll tell another day. But he came up to me and he says, "Hey, you got a final floor in this thing?" And I said, "Yeah." And it was pretty worn out too, the final floor. It was actually one of the, after I had redone the whole truck, it was actually one of the most worn part of the whole truck was the vinyl floor. I'd never done anything with it. He goes, "You need carpet in this thing." And he goes, "Give me your address. I'm going to send you carpet." Huh. And he actually, so I gave him my address, and by the time I got back from the Power Tour, there was a big box on my porch of tan, beautiful, brand new carpet for my Ranger pickup truck. So I just want to do a huge shout out to ACC on that. Now, I took the Ranger the next year with the carpet installed now in it, and I wanted to show him. And just before Power Tour 2001, he died in a plane crash, unfortunately. And
well, that sucks.
In a private plane crash. So,
bummer.
Yeah, ACC still exists today, and they still make great products.
Yeah.
But just a little shout out. Hey, thank you. Really remember what you guys did back then.
That's awesome.
We've done some shout outs for some old stuff in the past before. So
yeah, I don't think I'd be able to really ever do carpet on mine unless I went completely custom, because all my floors are different now.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing's quite factory fit anymore as far as that. So
now you mentioned headliner. You are putting headliner back in XJ?
Yeah. So I'm doing actually the 97 Up headliner.
That's different?
Yeah.
Okay.
They changed it a little bit. All the mounts are the same, but they added the sound bar in the later years. Mm-hmm. So the early years, the rear speakers were in the hatch, in the door. I don't like that because if I put a bunch of stuff back there and I lose half my sound. So the sound bar puts it above the cargo area, kind of pointing forward.
But you're still going to have the 87 hatch, right?
I have a different hatch for it, but it's going to be that old style hatch, yeah.
The fiberglass hatch?
Yes, yeah.
So you're going to have speakers in the hatch and in the roof?
Actually, no. So they did, I don't remember the year, but they swapped the speakers out of the hatch actually quite a while before that. So I'm only going to have them in the hatch and the two front doors.
Dude, you need some big square kickers in there, like in the hatch and in the roof. You need to have the whole back of that thing full of
I've never been one for subwoofers.
Yeah, me neither.
But the Wrangler, Pegasus has a factory sub in there in the center console, and it added so much quality to the depth of that sound. It was incredible. And I've thought about trying to retrofit like a TJ sub center console into the Project XJ just to get that feature, but I don't think I'm going to do it because then I have to start messing with an amplifier, even if I go really small. And I really like the factory 97 Up center console in those, so I don't really.
It's super simple to adapt them into that.
Oh yeah,
I've got plenty of duct tape and drywall screws in my garage. We can just make that thing fit.
I mean, I'm not opposed to it at some point, but for now, I'm contented with it. I'm not wanting to change too much more right now. I might do it in the future. Yeah. I know they make a lot of cool sub kits to add to the XJs, so I might look into that in the future.
Now, in all your, I know you're doing all basically junkyard parts and stuff that you have salvaged. I've never looked into it too hard. I know you can still get replacement carpet for the XJs. Is anybody reproducing the door panels?
I honestly have no idea.
I haven't seen that anywhere. Like some of the older AMC stuff, like the Javelins, Gremlins, the old full size Jeeps, they are now.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure if anybody's doing the XJs yet.
Not that I know of. I mean, the panels that It'll
come.
Yeah, they're fine. I got that set of doors was off a 95 Cherokee, and I mean they're mint.
Okay.
There's one little tiny spot of rust on one of the doors. There's one spot where the screws stripped out when I was pulling it in the scrapyard. So we had to torch the hinge off, and the guy with the torch hit the door just a little bit, burned some paint. So I have one little black spot on that door. But
you're going to repaint them anyways, aren't you?
Eventually. Okay. Not at first. At first, it's just get it done.
You mean multicolor?
Yeah, so I'm going to have blue doors. I don't know what I'm going to do with the hood yet. I'm going to have red to black fade fenders, red tailgate, black body shell.
Blue doors.
What are you thinking?
No, I thought your doors are blue.
Yeah.
So you're red tailgate, red
tailgate, dark like burgundy fenders that are burgundy to black fade.
Yep.
The hood was burgundy, but it's in the middle of being, well, I took all the old paint off, so it's going to be painted. Black body shell.
I think we've found the name for XJ.
So, what are you thinking?
We're going to call him Joseph.
What?
He's going to be Joseph, the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Oh, God. So, this Jeep, actually, my mom gets to name. So, that is something that I gave my word to her when I first started this, that she'll get to name it because it's taken so long. And she gets the first
She's going to be on her deathbed, and she's going to be like,
oh,
well, John, you finally got it going. I can't believe it. It's pulling out of the driveway. I'm going to call it. That's going to be your Jeep. It's going to be,
oh, ye of little faith. No, it's getting there. I've been making a lot of progress with it, but like I said, these last couple weeks just with work. I mean, straight up, more progress this year than all the other years probably combined.
No, I am proud of you, buddy. I'm
pissed I couldn't get it, man. I'm so upset with myself on that. But I mean, is life.
I mean, you get there, and I've actually gotten to that point recently myself where I can't. There's certain things in life you have to have deadlines for.
Yep.
And like Wheels in the Woods, I got a lot of stuff I got to get ready for Wheels in the Woods. But other things, it's working on the barn, which I'm still working on, tinkering here and there. I think that it just needs to be, it gets done when it gets done. And
some things, yeah. I mean, you got to take, what's going on and everything and factor that in with a lot. And that's the life part of any project. Something, you throw a rod in a block in your daily driver, project is suddenly not important. You got to get your daily driver going.
Well, yeah, there's always that too. So, I do want to, we're already talking about our sponsor for this episode, but our previous episode was sponsored by somebody, and we do have a slight correction there I want to mention real quickly.
Okay.
Not really a correction, an addition. Remember how I said that Mike Fuchs, I think is how it's pronounced, I'd gotten the conversion motor mounts to put the Cummins into the 08 Ford.
Yep.
He actually got back with me. He said, I'm sorry, I missed this message. And then we talked back and forth actually for a little bit. And he sent me pictures as to the orientation of those motor mounts.
Oh, okay.
Remember I said that was one of my suggestions as to which way they should go. He sent me orientation of it. So if anybody else buys them from him, I can send you those pictures, or I'm sure he would too.
Nice.
But they are going to, the name of his company is actually called Cummins Conversion.
Okay.
And they're going to have a website up shortly. And I told him as soon as they have the website up, he's going to let me know. And then I'll let you know what that website's going to be.
Yeah, cool.
So Cummins Conversion, Mike Fuchs. Now, if you need to get a hold of Mike, the best way to get a hold of him now is he joined a little group called 4x4 Talk.
Oh, cool.
So he is on 4x4 Talk.
Cool. We've had a lot of people joining lately, which is awesome. Welcome to all the new people,
so,
of course.
Go ahead and, if you need some Cummins conversion motor mounts for your Ford project or anything else you're building, maybe he has them, you need to get on to 4x4 Talk and then find member Mike Fuchs, Fuchs, and send him a message and say, hey, heard about John Whelan, whatever.
Nice.
And we're going to keep talking about his products as well as other ones as we go along here. Interior wise for my project, like I said, I haven't decided on the flooring thing yet. We already know what we're going to do here with Texan auto seat cover, redoing our King Ranch seats. I don't know. I think the headliner is going to stay, dash and everything's going to stay as it is. The only thing I'm still on the fence about with my project is whether or not I'm going to convert it to power windows. I really do like power windows.
They're nice. I still like my hand cranks, and I know that was a big thing with XJ in the beginning is I wanted the hand cranks. The one minor, I'll call it a minor issue that I kind of discovered or really started thinking about a while back. So on the electric doors on the XJs at least, they all have a little rubber boot that goes between the door and the body for the locks and the window connections.
Okay.
When you remove the old doors, now you have like a 2.5-inch hole in your B-pillar. I don't know where to get plugs for that.
Oh, you could probably get those plugs from, I would think that floor plugs from like a Suzuki Samurai, they're about 2 inches.
Okay.
Or just go to, what's that big catalog that has all the weird fasteners and everything in it? Not Fastenal. Fastenal might even actually have it.
I have never had good luck with anything for them.
McMaster Car.
Yeah.
Bet you
I
could
can
find,
check that out,
body
yeah.
plugs or, just sheet metal plugs or whatever, or just make something and glue it on there.
Yeah, I mean, that's plan B.
Stick a golf ball in there. Or a
A little
tennis
bigger
ball.
than that.
Stick a tennis
No,
ball.
I'll figure something out, though.
Put a sticker
I'm not
over
that
it. Put a wheel and
Ooh,
sticker over each hole.
actually.
Actually, Lucas did that years ago with.
Nice.
He had a couple holes in the back of his Jeep when he changed his taillight setup.
Gotcha.
He covered them with Great Lakes 4-wheel drive stickers.
See, I'm going their out with that because I'm converting to the LED taillight boxes. And the originals have like this big weather seal that presses against the body to seal any of the water out. The steel boxes don't do that. But I kept
A whole bunch of Gorilla Glue.
Well, so I cut out the corners of the donor Grand Cherokee that I parted out.
Okay.
Because there's a grommet and then the wiring harness passes through, so I straight up cut the entire thing out, cut the harness, so I have a quick connect harness back there. I can just use factory harness, put it right through.
That'll work.
So yeah, it'll be a little bit nicer fit, I
You're
think.
putting aftermarket taillights there. You're not putting Grand Cherokee taillights.
No. I've got I think they were JCR brand heavy duty taillight boxes. So I got 60 LED light panels in each. And then the side marker light is
Do you know what
13
JCR
LED.
stands for?
I don't remember.
You don't remember? I actually know that.
it, but I don't remember.
Jesus Christ Rocks Off-Road.
Is it really?
It is really.
That's not what I remember it being.
They're
Okay,
they're
then.
a religious company. Yep.
Oh,
I mean,
they have
whatever.
some awesome product.
Teach their own.
I got them really cheap. So
Yeah, I was on I think Snowfari and they were there and
Huh.
I was like, what's JCR stand for? And the guy's like, Jesus Christ Rock. I'm like, what? Like, and he's like, no,
Huh.
I'm serious. And
I mean, that's cool. Whatever. I don't care. They were cheap. They were.
Yeah.
They're heavy duty.
yeah, I mean,
So,
yeah,
yeah.
You know. But
I'm really excited to get more of this, man. It's. I haven't been able to get out there much, but it's like it's coming together. So I'm really getting excited.
did you decide if you're doing the 97 and up front end yet or not?
Oh yeah, I made that decision a long time ago.
So
I
you're
already
doing
got
that with the old back end.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay.
So the front clip is going to be all 97 up. The dash is staying original as far as all the main components. I'm putting an upgraded stereo in it though, and then I am swapping to the 97 control panel for the HVAC system.
Okay.
So I like the dials better, and there's like 1.5 years of those panels that you can it's a direct fit.
Oh, okay.
You got to modify the tabs a little bit.
Okay.
But it still uses a cable actuator on the blend door, so you have dials. It's awesome. Gets rid of those nasty sliders.
Is there going to be a single nut or bolt on that thing that you have not turned by the time you're done?
Not really.
I kind of figured.
I mean, some of the dash screws, I didn't mess with anything up to the steering box. Factory Pitman arm. Well, no, I will be unbolting the steering box because I got to put the bumper mount behind it. So, not really, no.
Yeah, no kidding, man.
Leaf spring bolts.
Oh,
I
okay.
did not mess with those yet.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do have a pair of shackles for the rear,
Oh,
and when I do that, I'm going to replace the front bushing. So,
Dude.
yeah, this thing, it's been a monster of a project, that's for sure. So when I'm just really excited to see it done.
Yeah, oh, me too. So, changing gears here for a minute. And I would like some opinion of yourself,
Okay.
as well as the wheeling community out there. And I need you to go on 4x4 Talk, and you need to comment on this. And hear me out here. We're car shopping again.
Okay.
My mom down in Sarasota, Florida, where she overwinters sections of time, has killed her old Buick that she was driving down there.
Oh.
And I mean, it still runs and drives, but it's to the point now where it needs more repairs than the car's worth. And she's decided to replace it.
Yeah.
This all kind of went down between yesterday and today.
Oh, wow.
And we have been talking back and forth about what to replace it with. Now, my mom is not interested in going and getting a lease or a car payment. So she is looking to buy a probably in the neighborhood of 10 to 15-year-old used vehicle.
Okay.
That she always buys used vehicles, gets 5-6 years out of them and dumps them. You know, is what it is. That's the way she does. Budget's going to probably be about $6,000 max. May be willing to eke it up a little bit for the perfect vehicle, but about $6,000. So after going to a couple car lots today and FaceTiming with me and looking at some different things, she's pretty much decided that she does like the idea of a small SUV / kind of crossover SUV. She's fine with either a crossover or a small SUV. Looking at things that are modern, you know, she's going to want the biggest things for her. Has to have an automatic transmission. Has to have ice cold air conditioning. Beyond that, she doesn't really care.
Yeah.
Okay. We're looking at all these vehicles, knowing that we're on that budget and knowing that we're on, you know, something a little older. I am currently suggesting to her, as much as it's probably going to pain you because I know you're a big American guy, a lot of our American small crossovers and SUVs really don't have a lot of great reliability ratings.
Yeah.
I'm suggesting to her to look at like a Honda CR-V
Okay.
or a Toyota RAV4 or a Toyota Highlander. You know, I'm wondering what else out there is something that people have had a lot of luck with. You know, she's the type of person that will buy a vehicle that's got 150,000 miles on it, and she'll drive it till it hits almost 300,000, or until basically something major goes on it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm not interested in a vehicle that, you know, no offense, but let's say like a Jeep Compass that's known for front end and brake issues and transmission issues at like 120 to 130,000 miles. We're not looking for that. We're looking for a long-term reliable vehicle. It doesn't have to be fast. It doesn't have to look real pretty. It just needs to be durable as hell.
Like an Edge or a Flex.
You know, some of the Fords, same things as the smaller Chryslers right now. They're just not. If you look at, you go on like Edmunds and stuff, you look at the reliability ratings, a lot of those things are only hitting like a 3 out of 5 stars.
Oh, wow.
You know, so that's what the Toyotas and the Hondas are hitting the highest right now. Lexus does too, but almost all the Lexuses, which is another Toyota brand.
Yeah.
Most of the Lexuses I'm looking at are, you know, in her like price range. Well, there's none in her price range pretty much. Usually they're like $8,000, $9,000, $10,000.
Yeah.
So they're a little priced out of what we need. So I'm wondering, you know, well, here's a question. Your dad has a, 14 Cherokee?
Yep.
How's the new Cherokee?
It's great. I mean, as far as work that I know we've done to it, we did replace an oil cooler. I know that has a tendency to leak on those. It was a poor design. It's a couple of O-rings, but you can do it in an afternoon. It's a pretty simple repair job or replacement.
Okay.
Let's see what else have we done. On his, we've also done, struts, which it's 180,000 miles I think he's got on it now. Brakes been done once or twice, but again, at that many miles, that's to be expected.
No, yeah, that she expects that kind of stuff. She's just not like looking for something where there's known issues. Like, for example, well, even my beloved Land Cruisers, when they went up to the 100 series, every 80,000 miles, you pretty much got to do the timing chain on it.
Oof,
or timing belt. It's actually a belt on those, I think. But anyways, you know, and 80,000 miles is a lot of miles. Don't get me wrong. And it's about a $600, $700 job. Now, she would look at something like that if she knew that it had just been replaced.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Well, that I'm aware of, not really too many other issues with it.
Okay.
I mean, so another friend of ours, Sean, who owns the Double Action, the boat that I work for.
Yeah.
So he's got a 15 Cherokee. His has the auto start thing, though. My dad's does not.
I hate that, by the way.
I agree. And I will never buy a vehicle that has that because I can't stand it.
Yeah, Angie's CRV has that.
Yeah,
her new one.
I will not ever have one with that. That is...
She hates it, too. She shuts it off all the time.
Oh, yeah. If I can buy it and they can disable it permanently before it leaves the lot, I would consider it.
Okay.
That'd be the only way, though. I will not use that.
Yeah, I don't like that option either.
I'll leave the other words I want to say out. I will not use that annoying feature.
Yeah, all right.
But, no, I mean, him, what are the issues he's had? Anything his, like, he had the battery go. I know my dad's done that. But, again, I mean, it's...
Yeah, no, I mean, those are maintenance
stuff.
items, you know. We're just... So, you know, I'm kind of...
His had some funky electrical stuff for a while.
Yeah.
But most of that's all gone now. They fixed it. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, I don't really want to see her get into like a Kia, you know, or anything like that. At least a high mile one.
Trying to think of what the Chevy ones are that have it. I mean, there's Tahoes.
Well, there's the Traverse. The new Trailblazer is still pretty new. Or not the Trailblazer. The Trailblazer and there's new Blazer. The Trailblazers, I believe they still hold the record as to the highest number of recalls for a vehicle.
Oh, wow.
At one point, they were like 72 recalls for those or something.
Jeez.
So I really don't want to get her into a Trailblazer.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm just looking. So if people out there, if you have a suggestion, now I know my cars. There's a lot of cars out there that I like. I don't know my way around a CRV. I don't know my way around what was the Toyota RAV4. Mm-hmm. But when I got looking at, basically looking at Edmunds and all the other ones, and they say the reliability ratings on them, they're vehicles that you expect to basically hit 300,000 miles. Mm-hmm. Most of them have like 5-star ratings for reliability and stuff. So I'm looking for something, because this is a lady that obviously, you know, it's her and just her down there most of the time.
Yeah.
She needs something reliable, but it needs to be reliable. So what are the options out there? And, you know, I know we're going to get that guy that says, buy her a 1995 Jeep Cherokee. And I tell you what, I already looked. I can't find a decent price one down there. So, but something a little more modern.
I mean there's a good option.
Yeah, it is. I don't think she'd mind. She doesn't necessarily want. I don't even know if she's rented new vehicles. Mm-hmm. She might like a backup camera. Doesn't need it. She might like in-dash navigation. Doesn't need it.
Yeah.
You know, those are okay things.
Creature comforts.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you've got another suggestion, and then I'm just going to throw this right out here. If you're a Wheelin' listener and you've got a sub $6,000 crossover SUV in great shape that you're looking to sell, hit us up at Wheelin' or 4x4 Talk, something like that. Is if you're in Florida or Michigan, because we could buy a car either place, and maybe Ohio too would be fine. But we don't really want to travel to Tennessee, Kentucky, or California, or Australia, or anything like that for it. But
well, you may not.
I'll go to Australia, but
absolutely.
I'm not going to try to bring the car back. Plus, I don't think she can drive a right-hand drive vehicle very well.
She can learn.
Well, actually, I did see. I was driving home and I saw over at Charbel, the guy that owns the old Total Recall now. He has a right-hand drive London taxi cab with a column shift manual transmission. And I was like, that'd be perfect for her, you know?
Yeah. She can learn an automatic or a manual.
Yeah. Do you have any other suggestions of vehicles we should look at besides the Highlander, the CRV, maybe the Cherokee,
I mean, there were some pretty nice Grand Cherokees, a little bit bigger, a little more room.
I think she'd be okay with a Grand Cherokee. Yeah, didn't they have a lot of issues with the 4.6s, though?
The 4.7s.
Or 4.7s, I mean?
Yeah, the 4.7s did. The WJ models.
Yeah.
They're solid axles. They made those up to 04.
Yeah.
So still solid axles, and you could get them at the straight 6. However, it is that late model straight 6 that can have issues at the higher miles.
And they're also gas hogs.
Yeah.
I already did look at a number of Grand Cherokees down there. The only couple clean ones I found were priced way beyond the price range.
Some of those are, Well, however, try and find her one of those ZJ SRT ones or whatever. Ones with the 360.
The 98?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, if there was a clean one, I could talk her into that, no problem.
I know a guy. I'm pretty sure he's still got it, but I don't think he'll let that thing go to save his life.
That
thing's awesome.
I know you and I complain sometimes about the way people handle their businesses and stuff like that, and that's why. Well, the reason I mention this is, You know, folks, when you're listening to Wheelin', when we endorse a business or we have a business that is a sponsor, we have told you again and again and again, and we're holding true to this, we will never allow a sponsor of the Wheelin' Podcast that we don't believe in their product.
Oh, no. Everything's tried and true.
And we will never endorse something just because somebody says we're going to give you a couple of bucks or we're going to give you a free product or something like that.
And if we don't like something, we'll tell you.
Texan Auto Seat Cover today, we're talking about them. This is an awesome looking product here. You know, now, if I go to install this thing and it doesn't fit right, then we may say, hey, there's an issue with it.
We're going to contact them first,
we would deal the right things.
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't think that, I have no reason to believe that would be an issue, but I'm just saying.
The hypothetical.
Exactly. You know, this is a great product here.
Yeah.
You know, this is an above and beyond product. But, so what I was starting to talk about, though, is, so my mom, she goes down to this, I found a first generation CRV.
Okay.
It was a 99. I think that's first. It might be second. I think that's first generation. But pictures online show this thing as being, and we did folks, if you're interested in CRVs, a couple episodes ago, we did a CRV history episode. Check it out. But anyways, first generation CRV. She goes down. They want $2,500 for it. It was only like 140,000 miles. And in the pictures, it looks mint. Mint. I says, $2,500. I go, it's an old CRV, but I mean,
I'd wonder if it were like a flood recovery or something at that point.
Well, so she goes to the lot, and I'll tell you what happens. So she goes, I'm not going to name the name of the lot. I'm not going to smear that way. I mean, but she goes into the lot, and it is in Sarasota, Florida, but they've got 35 used car lots. And she goes in, and she's actually FaceTiming me and stuff too, you know, as we're doing. She goes in, the guy's playing on his phone, and she's like, and she's just standing there. Finally, the guy goes, yeah, do you want something? My mom's like, yeah, I saw your CRV online for sale. I'd like to come take a look at it. And the guy goes, oh, well, we have much better vehicles for sale than that. And she's like, yeah, but I'm interested in the CRV. Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, you know, but we've got, and he's trying to upsell her without even showing her what she wanted.
I hate that. Yeah.
So finally he's like, all right, fine, I'll show you the CRV. So she goes out there, they fire it up. It runs great. Looks, interior's mint, except the headliner had been replaced with camo, which was kind of cool, actually.
Oh, nice.
But she's walking around, and it's got typical Florida saltwater damage where around all the windows is starting to it's starting to get that weird
breakthrough
rust, and then the rear bumper cover was ripped off, and then the kick panel down under the dash on the passenger side was on the floor, and she's like, what's that? And she's videoing it, and I'm like, what's that about? And she goes, oh yeah, he told me that they just did something electrical, blah blah. And so she's like, he walks away for a minute, and she's like, yeah, I don't think I really want this one. And she goes, it's just a little rough around the edges. And I go, that's fine. I said, what else you got on the lot? So she starts walking around the lot, and they've got a Toyota Highlander and a Lexus GX 330 sitting next to each other.
Okay.
And they both look really nice. And so I said, well, what do you want for those? And so she asks him, and he kind of yells over, oh, I'm 55 for the one, 65 for the other. And I'm like, well, take a look at both. You know, so she's walking around. Well, he comes out to look at the Lexus, and he's like, well, I'll start it up for you. It won't start, so he's going to put a jump box on it.
Yeah, I mean, that does happen with used car lots.
It does, but and then, you know, the Highlander, she's like interested in the Highlander. She sits in it for a minute. She's like, yeah, it's roomy. I like how this looks. Everything's in really good shape. The guy, as she's sitting there telling him that she's interested in the Highlander, he's trying to upsell her on some $10,000 car. He's like, oh, I got better cars over here. Blah. She's like, well, I'm interested in this car, you know?
Yeah.
And so finally, she actually tells me, well, I don't think I'm going to get one here. I'm going to let you go. So she thought she hung up. Well, I could hear her on the FaceTime. And this dude is literally, and she's like, she says to him, you know, okay, well, thank you very much. I'm going to watch what you have for sale online. And I think I'm looking for maybe another I'm looking for a CRV or something. And he's like, well, you're not going to find any better deals out there than what I've got on my lot. Wow. And it's like, and at that point, she's like, I'm done.
Yeah.
She's like, so she just walked out. I mean, she was polite and nice, but I mean, used car lots are infamous for this stuff across the nation. But if you're going to run your business that way,
I'll say this: I'm proud to say where I work never did that.
Well, yeah, I mean, a woman walks in. Yeah. She's an elderly woman, walks in by herself, and they think that they can treat her this way. I mean, she's a businesswoman. It's
so unfortunate that places still have some of that mindset.
Exactly.
That is just unacceptable and beyond ridiculous.
Exactly. So, she was frustrated with it. She calls me back up. She's like, I don't really want one off his lot. I'm like, fine, there's plenty of cars out there.
Oh, yeah.
We'll find you a car. So, and of course, when we find her something, hopefully we find her something awesome. I'm trying to, she doesn't need all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive down in Florida.
Yeah.
But occasionally her Florida car whatever Florida car she has, usually about once a year or every other year, she does drive it up to Michigan for service and for whatever reason. So, and a lot of times in the winter. So I wouldn't mind her getting at least an all-wheel drive. So hopefully we can find her something cool at least.
Yeah, for sure.
Something she's going to enjoy. And, but anyways, John, I know we're probably getting on there a little bit. I do want to mention this is probably the last podcast prior to Wheels in the Woods.
More than likely, just based on what I know my schedule is and yours.
We're going to see.
So we'll try to get another one, but this will probably be the last one before Wheels in the Woods.
October 9th, 2021, folks, at 8945 Marsh Road, Clay Township, Michigan. That's C-L-A-Y, just like Clay. Clay Township, Michigan, 48001. We have the Wheels in the Woods all-vehicle show. We obviously, being a fundraiser for the Museum of Off-Road Adventure, this is a 4x4 focused show, but we are inviting everyone. So bring your Corvette, bring your boat, bring your airplane, bring your motorcycle, whatever you want to bring.
Bring your helicopter. We have an area you can land.
All vehicles are $20. In the past, we did $25. We are down $20 this year is the donation for registering your vehicle. It is free admission for the public.
Didn't we do a break for additional entries, too? I don't remember if we did that or not.
I think we just did a flat 20 per vehicle.
Per category?
I
don't remember how we did it.
Me neither.
We'll look at it.
Yeah. But anyways, come on out. Check it out. It's going to be super fun. Lot of cool vehicles we already know are coming.
Oh, yeah.
Something neat to do. We are going to have, once again, our very popular Power Wheels race with obstacle course with the kids. You got to bring your own Power Wheels. You got to bring your own kid, and you got to bring.
I mean, there might be services to rent a kid. I don't know how that works.
We do ask, especially in the ages 8 and under, that you have the kids wear a bicycle helmet.
Yeah.
While they are
just in case
running around. There's nothing crazy for them, but it's just kind of a liability thing. And then we are bringing back once again our super popular trivia contest, which we've had every single year of Wheels in the Woods. It's the only event that we have done every single year since the beginning. And it was an impromptu thing year one, kind of as a time, waster or whatever. And it proved so popular, we are bringing it back yet again. We're doing it similar to what we did last year. We are going to have 2 heats. So there is a car trivia contest. Then there is a 4x4 trivia contest. And then the winners of each heat are going together in a general automotive trivia contest. Now, to give you a heads up here, a lot of the answers can be found on old episodes of Wheelin'.
I forgot we did that, yeah.
Yeah, go back and figure that out. I'm not going to say every single one of them, but the other thing is a lot of it is going to be questions like what year did, and then other questions will be like what option was, things like that. So it's going to be a broad spectrum of knowledge, and of course we're not letting you use your phones and Google them for this thing. This is, last year we had father-son back-to-back.
Yep, that was awesome.
Dad won, but that was
awesome.
And it went for well over 15 minutes before we had a winner.
Oh, yeah.
It was a sudden death thing, and because it was the first person to 10 points wins.
Yeah.
And they went and went and went and went and went. It was amazing. So
I know we're gonna have a couple times throughout the day. You can order some food from Foxfire Fixins. I don't know if we're still doing like the reduced menu just for this event, or if we're gonna have full menu access.
I believe the full menu is available this year, but we're gonna find out.
Cool.
Yep.
So we'll know more about that probably day of or so. Yep. That's kind of their discretion. So we'll see how much they want to let us do.
We also need to mention that we have 2 great sponsors besides Foxfire Fixins.
Absolutely.
We have Starcraft Brewery,
Richmond,
Michigan, and
which reminds me, actually, real quick, because So a few episodes, we were talking about StarCraft as the sponsor, and I mentioned the family names, and I could not remember their dad's name.
It's Daryl.
Yeah, they were discussing that one night when we were there. We were getting the tour of the brewery in the back for some new friends of ours with us.
Yep.
And yep, his name's Daryl. So Daryl, Phil, and Aaron.
Correct.
So cheers to you guys. We appreciate the sponsorship. Hope a couple of you guys can make it out there at least. One of you.
Absolutely. And then we also have Kodet's True Value Hardware as a returning sponsor yet again. And they have locations in Livonia, Williamston, and Fowlerville, Michigan. Maybe some more coming soon as well.
Nice.
But as we've said before on the show, they have lower prices on their electric power tools than the big box stores do. Awesome. And they have an insane collection of show quality stainless for anybody putting stainless bolts and stuff.
That. So I love hardware.
Exactly. So these guys have been a big supporter for us since day one.
Yeah.
So, John, with that, I don't think I've got anything else, but I do need to let folks know that if they're interested in hearing more about the Museum of Off-Road Adventure, they need to go to Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We are on all three of those under Museum of Off-Road Adventure. And then also we have the Facebook group through the museum called 4x4 Museum, which is also growing. And so if you're interested in vintage 4x4 stuff and things like that, you need to check that out. John?
So if you want to interact with Keith, myself, some other people looking for build ideas, just share some pictures. The group on Facebook, 4x4 Talk, is where we all communicate. I'm not there as active, not quite as active as Keith is. I occasionally chime in and post something. But Keith is there, so if you have questions, you can ask us there. You can tag me. I usually see them. I apologize if I don't. But yeah, a couple quick questions get you on the page, post build pictures, and go from there. We do have our after show on Patreon. Access as low as $2 a month. Kind of gets you access to all of the past episodes, current, and obviously future episodes, as long as you keep with your subscription on that. A lot of cool stuff we don't get to in the show. We do some beer and liquor reviews there. It's a little bit more relaxed, kind of an atmosphere, kind of just let loose and have fun.
Absolutely, John.
And yeah, of course, whatever podcast service you're listening to us on, make sure you hit like and subscribe on that. Leave us a comment and review. Let us know how we're doing. Something you like, let us know. Something you don't like, please let us know, and we'll maybe change it. And then, yeah, if you have a favorite episode, share that and try to get some more people on here. Only other thing I will say, I do have a post up on 4x4 Talk. So we're looking at some options for changing out the after show hosting. So just looking for some more input there. I know I've only got a couple responses to that, so I'm hoping to get some more. I'm going to leave that up for a while. I will say this, so I'm going to change up through Podbean. We have a premium service option, so that will be going live soon. I'm going to revamp that and start uploading all the current episodes that I have. And then as I get the past episodes, I'm going to eventually have it. So everything in the after show we've done will be available. It's a one-time cost. I don't know what I'll do the dollar amount yet. But you pay that one time, you have access to everything in the past and everything in the future. So if you like some of the other stuff, I want access to a whole bunch. I mean, what is it? We have like 40 episodes on that, I think.
I think so.
Something like that. Some of them are shorter, some of them a little longer. But that's a lot of fun. It's a really cool kind of way to wind down after the main show. So check that out. And with all of that, I think we covered everything here tonight. So thanks for listening and have a good one, everybody.